early on before that map number 1 restart that Pred was getting behind enemy lines, finding a couple easy kills, and that's why you want to play those bigger AR maps. Where you can dominate those power positions and then account for everyone.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I mean, we heard about the conversation of we want to put teams on X map or Y map to avoid their SMG line, force them to play ARs.
Oké, ik ben best laat hiermee, maar goed.
Like we
zijn er.
FaZe essentially considering the same respect territory here, especially looking at the entirety of this map set, because a high-rise search, an invasion control, another sub-base hardpoint, and then an invasion surge. So it's like wide open, long AR-dominant map. Looks like they're trying to really unfold what we've already seen in the stats, which is Cell and Draza having good performances this weekend.
And that was the discussion of why you brought Draza into this lineup, because all of last season, Optic were destroying Atlanta every single time that they matched up. So they pick up a player like Draza to keep up with that pace. And ever since then, it's 6-1 this year in favor of Atlanta. FaZe dominating in the respawns, 9-4 overall in the hard points, 6-1 in the controls. The S&Ds could be up in the air, sitting at 6-4 overall. But Atlanta FaZe now, this season, have had their number.
Yeah. But this is going to feel like a very different series compared to the ones we'd seen previously.
Because they're world champions.
Well, there's
they're coming in with that delusional confidence, like,
Okay.
the best. You guys got to take us down.
Well, I think the thing on top of that is there's no 6-star. There's no
We gaan lekker even kijken. Ik ben een ronde te laat. Volgens mij hebben ze al een ronde gespeeld. Wat ik net heb gezien. Is het semifinals? Ik dacht dat dit grand finales was. Oh, goed, anyway. Oh, laat me even dat ik hem op mijn andere beeldscherm kan laten zien.
It looks like we are loading back in. Yep, and that's it.
Ik pomp er even een scene bij, dus als je straks niks ziet. Daarom.
Of these two teams duking it out with one another. Similar routes for both squads. Draza able to find the opener, but again, Optic hold control of top third, and that's enough for them to clean up the following 3 kills.
Yeah, restart ain't gonna change nothing. Optic Gaming able to find every single kill. Last player alive is gonna be Celium, but just gonna put down a couple shots. Try to open up an avenue of attack for his teammates to apply pressure on it. But it's still Optic Gaming soaking up this P one time.
Yeah, good shots from Cell over towards Red. Simply to follow up as well, keeps the hard point neutral. But again, this top third position, oh mercy. You put Draza or Dashy up here, both you assume will dominate. And that has been the case for Dashy off to a 4-0 start and now working on rotation.
Yeah, now with only 10 seconds left, Atlanta are forced to cut their losses. Set up off that rotation over towards Red, because there's a lot of pressure from Optic Gaming. Through that front side, they're able to take care of Shotzi. Kenny's able to find that trade, but Dashy on 5 in a row. Can he earn an early cruise?
Wow, clean shots over to the back bar, Heady onto Celium. Simp finds the trade, but it comes at the cost of the cruise missile and the rotation being lost. P2 opens on up.
Oké, dan doen we hem even via hier.
But the rest of FaZe through mid-map, starting to come back on through. Simple drop. Shotzi also finds one at Adraza, and there is no break here for FaZe.
And this is basically the same exact thing before the restart. Optic Gaming just coming out swinging, this time with a cruise missile to their name. Pred was 4-0. He's already 4-0 again, making it 5 onto Simp. He's ready for the pressure through the back alley.
Geef me 2 seconden.
Atlanta are forced to hit this rotation. You cannot commit for this junk time here.
We could argue that this second reset is actually better for Optic than it was the first time. They get essentially a full 60 on P2, and they've got members over towards 3. So no requirement for the break, and there are no kills to speak of anywhere for FaZe. 1-5, 1-6, and 1-4 for BZ, Draza, and Cell.
So now we're up by 60 points. We have 2 cruise missiles this time around to go with it, and we run the rotation over towards P3. So the scoreline might be the same exact thing, as now Optic Gaming continuously running it up. You are forcing Atlanta FaZe to work their way through Coop. Celium trying to challenge through the middle of the map, and actually shooting like that. The team shots coming in. Optic are just dominating.
This does not look like your normal FaZe versus Optic matchup. Absolute domination from Optic Gaming. Pistol out for Dashy. Not going to be able to find the last shot needed to take down Cell, but it's 85 to flipping 7. And FaZe are still struggling to break on through for any time.
You just can't get in. They're attacking from one single angle, and Optic Gaming know where the pressure's coming in. They are trading more effectively. That's a 2-for-1 there in that scenario. And now with only 15 seconds left with the lead that you have, if you can keep them off, even better, because your teammates are already thinking about that new rotation.
Well, there will be a little bit of scrap time here for Atlanta, but again, you look towards the macro side of what's happening on the map, and Optic once again controlling the high ground.
Kan ik gewoon op mijn normale PC kan ik in ieder geval nog even wat doen.
I mean, this has been legitimately the most beautiful Karachi hardpoint we've ever seen. And go figure, it's Optic versus FaZe in World Championship form.
That's insane because this is a strong map for Atlanta FaZe. They have a 14-4 overall record here. Usually don't get caught slipping because Optic Gaming do not prefer to play a map like Karachi. But to start off, you already got 2 cruise missiles. Atlanta FaZe now trying to soak up time here at Pay 4, but it's not going to be successful as Optic are able to find another 3, almost 4 in the feed.
I mean, what do you talk about here? I mean, legitimately, this is just a mismatch. Cell from the back, try to deal with the trophy system and the rest of the Optic members in the hard point, but there's just no good fights to take. It is another 3-for-1 feed. I mean, we can't even break this down. This is just sit back, relax, and watch Optic dominate.
And now Optic Gaming are going to walk with that final 20 seconds. And keep in mind, they still got 2 cruise missiles to work with. So if you are Atlanta FaZe, you hit that early rotation. You're going to need this time here at P5 to get yourself back into the game. But this is where you're going to see Optic manipulate around that mini-map.
Yep.
SMGs hit certain routes to spawn those players all the way across the map. Then here comes the cruise.
Perfect. They take out Cell over towards that front side of red. This should deal with the player inside the point, so open it goes. And again, look at the crossing angle from Fred. He's able to stop the reinforcements from finding a way back into the hill. That is absolutely perfect. Only 1 player drops, and Optic again find a quick break.
It does not get any better than this for the green wall. The mentality that they have had so far in this map, number 1, has been stellar. As now Atlanta are able to work their way through the front with a couple kills. 25 seconds still to fight.
Je ziet wel dat Optic wel echt veel beter is als Atlanta FaZe. Volgens mij hadden ze, wat ik net zag, snel. Vorige ronde ook gewonnen.
Actually tested so far this weekend versus a top 4 team that we had throughout the entire season. Their best win was versus 100 Thieves, and they took care of them with ease, but this is a different kind of animal in Optic Gaming. They are already up by 100 points. They're soaking up this P1 time again. This time Sip is trying to hold down that top 3 positioning, but as soon as he finds one, the trade comes in, and now Dash on 6, making 7 in a row. Another cruise missile for Bruce.
Zo, krijgt een boom.
On a high ground position like that. He's just not gonna miss. 21-7, kill number 22 around the corner. What? Are we kidding? What are we talking about? 166-38, and it's not getting any better for FaZe.
Yeah, this ain't even close. Like, I don't know if Atlanta FaZe got their markers on or something. Guns are not working.
Ja, FaZe die is echt, ik weet niet wat ze aan het doen zijn, maar het is niet oké.
As they're going to put themselves in a position off the rotation over towards New. Now they still have 2 cruise missiles to work with just in case Atlanta find a little bit of success in that slaying department, but they're breaching that 180-point mark and they continue going up.
This is wild. I mean, you're dealing with, again, we saw the head-to-head stats. FaZe had Draza and Selling at 1.34 KDs. They're combining for 16 and 30 right now, but FaZe desperately need a lifeline as we jump into Atlanta FaZe listening to see if they can spark one up.
Okay, I'm trying to cross. Crossing. Yo, what's top out on me? I'm Ellie right now. He moved with yours. Can he top out on me? Or top stat? Ellie dead. Can he top stat?
Zo, die comms die mensen geven, dat slaat ook letterlijk nergens op eigenlijk.
Bring this shit back. Back door cross. I'm trying to get left control. They can get past me left, okay? They can get past me left. Side door. I'm playing third, they can be tools. Okay. So I have to get time though. Side door, then. A left. I got 2 on it. Once Archer's going red. Archer's going low red to 10. Dead. Nice, good job. Let's go, boys. Come on. Nico, let's go. Weak. One shot. He's going sky left side. I hear you. Yo, we can break him down right fucking here, right?
Bro, ik versta letterlijk niks van wat deze guys allemaal lopen te lullen. Het is ongelooflijk. Het enige wat ik hoor is... Tering.
He's 10 still. He's still just spawn killing. Second. One second as well. Listen, top 3. Yeah, you're by yourself. Where's your Chris? Let's go.
I'm trying to keep this white.
That's a good time.
Hey, getting in the back, one shot, and on time.
I'm pushing coop.
Heard.
Went to the back.
AG one shot on time. I spawn bridge.
AG in the hallway. Get on me. Nice, good one. AG? And behind the hill, last guy, behind the hill. I'm getting shots,
Legitimately, Jay, I think the biggest takeaway I just had right there is the constant comms of someone's still spawn killing, someone's still spawn killing. No one's winning their ones anywhere on the map for FaZe.
Okay, and I don't see, I don't
Ja,
hear
FaZe heeft het echt niet bij elkaar.
Obviously, when you're down by almost 200 points, you're not going to be having a good time. And Optic Gaming continuously just running away with this map number 1. Atlanta FaZe have a tall ladder to climb if they want to get themselves back into this game, but still, the kill feed lighting up green. Finally, Selim and Sip are able to catch a couple, but it's still Optic soaking up that time.
Yeah, I mean, we're dealing with 220 to 70. So, I mean, trying to paint...
Ik probeer ondertussen ook even
Bob Ross has that shade of silver in his
een PC-potje te spelen.
Dark clouds all around this phase, opening Karachi hardpoint. Moment of recovery here as Optic are going to default for playing for rotation, so they're going to get another 20 of scrap unless Shotzi clears this out himself. But as he does drop, now a chance for FaZe to work on rotation.
Yeah, FaZe got to work, and they got to work quickly. And keep in mind, Optic still have a cruise missile in their back pocket. They only need 31 seconds to close out this map number 1. Not finding a couple kills off the rotation, so Atlanta giving themselves an opportunity, but see those close spawns still in the back for Optic, and now you have a free pinch from Shotzi.
Actually good for the opener, not going to get the second, but lots of damage. Cali means that Kenny can get his trade, and then the turn back around gets the read on Cell's pinch, and this is how the game likely comes to an end. And look how Optic are spawning FaZe so far across the map. They've got every chance they could possibly need for the final 15.
This is not good if you are Atlanta FaZe. Not really wanting to start your championship.
What? We gaan even kijken hoe makkelijk het is om headshots te schieten met... Ja, Optic heeft gewoon gewonnen. Nou, toch gewonnen deze ronde dan. Maar het is duidelijk te merken dat Optic gewoon zijn shit veel beter bij elkaar heeft. Maat, wat zie ik toch ook. Waar zijn jullie heen?
Atlanta right in the mouth in map number 1.
Well, Optic getting absolutely fired after map number 1, but this is we see this series go a long way, and I think there is definitely going to be something that both teams will have to make sure they keep in the back of their mind, because this one could get plenty quick. But to start, anything but. I mean, it's legitimately perfect hard point. Everything felt good. The way they use it through everything just came out in favor of green wall. That's a heck of a way to get some momentum going from out here.
When the hell have we ever seen Atlanta FaZe get a 100-point club in a hard point?
I don't.
I need to go back and look at that, because I don't think it's ever happened. Optic Gaming just came out and we're challenging, like we're setting up the crossfire. We're finding the more effective trades, and even though Sip was able to find a couple of players here and there, it don't matter. Green wall got more players on the right side of the map. And they just absolutely put the feet down on Atlanta at map number 1. Now that into a high Optic Gaming play it this weekend. They played it versus Carolina, and they ended up losing it all the way in around 11. But I think my main focus for Optic Gaming, when you have that objective control, we have to work this bomb down. Give Atlanta a lot of time around the map, and that's when they take the map away from you and throw a whole lot of different looks at you.
Jay, I'm just looking over the course of some of the stats that I have in front of me. Looking at the history, outside of some, there are only 3 times that Atlanta FaZe have not improved more than 200 points.
Zo, ik lag hem. What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck?
Versus Toronto on subbase, and that was back during Major 1. So this isn't just a beatdown. This is an embarrassment, considering that there's only 3 other times outside of subbase that they haven't shot.
Lijp, lijp. Zo, halleluja zeg. Echt tyfus aan mijn hoofd. Zo. Rotational aim assist. Totaal niet broken of zo. Oh, FaZe heeft een ronde gewonnen, lijkt. Ik zat er niet echt op te letten.
Doesn't have that this time, so that position may not be as abused. However, does he expect that shot in a bit of a peculiar spot of his own? Meanwhile, action, long range to the middle of the map. Cell is able to find first blood into Kenny window to window.
Yeah, Beezy was able to spot Shotzi on the drop down, but Kenny was watching over him. That's what forces a Beezy to hit the retreat. But now in the man disadvantage. Shotzi also with a rival 9 in hand. We love an MCW in this position, but he's going to try to make a play happen, and the Beezy playing patient gets the better of him.
That's another good homework. We saw Shotzi use that same route every single defense, it felt like, over the course of the weekend. And maybe a little bit of information gained by Beezy, but good patience regardless. Leaves Fred completely by himself, finding the first off the window. Secondary shots are beautiful, and he's got help nearby. That's maybe an opportunity for Dashy to keep him up, but not gonna happen. Leaves Fred now have to work the 1v2 and possible ace.
He spots Draza. So can he get the info as well onto Celium?
Moest FaZe gewoon nog even inkomen.
Cell, the other side of it. Looking to take away space. Pred able to lock him down, and the 1v2 ace comes out for Pred. What a moment!
A 1v2 ace, a 2v4 clutch, or basically a 1v4 clutch because Pred gets it done by himself. Miraculously pulls out that two-piece in towards the site, jumps down through bottom pit, and at that point I was thinking Celium or Draza have to know that he's around that area. You cannot allow him to lose track. And once he's able to find that freebie onto Draza, you're thinking if you're selling him, okay, he's going to be trying to hit some kind of route, but the patience is key. Optic Gaming in the clutch, more specifically Pred, on 5 in a row now.
Massive.
4.
Greenwall knows no international borders or boundaries. Draza, I believe, did get stunned over towards B elevators. He's slow and laboriously making his way into safety. And yep, Shotzi trying to find the up and over. Does get pushed off, and in the same moment, Pred drops on the other side of the map. So now it's just down to what Shotzi can find. Forcing the action through, and Draza's right there to meet him. Numbers advantage for FaZe.
Kenny and Dashy's now. Their opportunity to clutch on up. Kenny finds that kill onto Simp, instantly going to turn it into a 2v2.
Team deathmatch.
This is where Dashy
clear to engage any and all hostiles in the AO.
Shots are still coming out of Dashy. Kenny looking to work
Friendly
around the
UAV
map.
online.
Dashy has seen Volg. That's the question. Looks like space. Jump on for the plant. Shots exchanged between Abizi and Dashy. Draza watching for the exit. Clean. 2v1 situation. Dashy versus Draza. Another AR battle. And Draza, the opening peek. Lead shots on the corner. And enough for Draza to clutch things up. But him finding 3 in the round.
Yeah, that was beautifully played right there. The Draza in the 2v2 scenario.
Hoe zag hij mij even?
So they have to work in this bomb plant. For that first kill.
Hostile UAV in the area.
The YY out of Dashy gets him out of the pre-aim, and Draza was ready for it. 2-1.
Big rebound after the 1v2.
Friendly UAV on station.
Again, mentally, it puts you right back into the driving seat. First blood battle has been representative of the score. Phase 1 drop. Aggressively going over towards the A window. Take a early sneak up towards helipad, but then back up. Easy will take his spot. And this will all be to the intel towards the A side of the map initially, and Shanti will be able to kind of exchange a little bit of a battle with Draza early.
At B Street. Watching the underground and the game and watching over the bottom. Early flag, we're investing from Atlanta phase on this side of the map.
UAV active.
Fuck, a duck.
Draza down low, tough fight. Shots are decent though from Shotzi, just can't quite finish the kill. It's just an aggressive game. Keeps reset 4v4. Easy now making the move.
Fuck.
Now in the man advantage. Yeah, but Shotzi's here to contest it from top heli.
He's got a lot to worry about. He's over towards the staircase. Kenny trying to follow up behind him. Gonna work out. Exchange is good. Dashy now by himself.
We're halfway to mission complete.
Super clean. On your 6. Damage, but not enough to confirm his kills. Everything will reset 1v2.
We really love to have a friend. Avoid those fights, but Celium somehow, some way, changing up his score. Set up team fires in the 2v2.
Dat was 1, ja. Fuck. Ik ben ondertussen shit aan het doen. Ik zit echt met een 1 ooghoek zit mee te kijken, maar volgens mij gaat Atlanta nu wel beter. Een stuk beter. Zo, zijn er tegelijk 5? Ja, gelijk 5. Lekker man. Fuck.
As Cell makes his way into the A site, he actually finds the kill. Now it's switched to a 2v2, but still there are questions for FaZe on where exactly the top deck offense is.
Under fire! Hostile UAV in the area. Hostile Guardian has been deployed.
Swapping mags.
Cell and Draza taking their time. Cell. Shots in the zone. Now there's question marks on where he's at. First 1v1 is good. Takes the left and no balls. He blocked for me. Second here's going to pull the beat down out, but Draza too clean with the
It's all come down to Celium finding that goal on the dash. Because he's not watching his back. Shotzi has to be at an angle to try to cover his teammate.
Maat, laat mij er dan door.
Atlanta FaZe starting to run away with this game. The ARs for Atlanta FaZe clutch on up.
Yeah, that's massive from Cell, I think in particular, because it 1v1 he gets over towards the A side.
Changing mag.
Easy,
Ah, tuurlijk man.
oh, what a read this is. The second is right there to pick up on the damage tally. What would you assume be a comfortable 4v2? Starts to pop off.
And now you know who the last player alive is going to be Dashy, so he's most likely in the back watching the every opportunity, and his positioning is known.
Hey, we saw it with Miles on the interview. Pred said the most likely person in the team to pull 1v4 would be Dashy. This one, maybe a little bit more hard pressed, but still, the snap to center is not enough to deal any further damage to the remaining couple of members. And with that now FaZe, again, it feels weird to see a 5-1 tally because these rounds have been so tremendously close.
But it's Atlanta FaZe doing their homework once again. They're realizing, okay, we have shut down the Optics play over towards Helipad. Shotzi's not going to jump up on that angle to try to contest for that first blood. We have shut down that pressure over towards B Street. So their only go-to to try to switch this game up in the pacing department is try to push out towards blue. And with the BZ going from a Ravo 9 to an MCW, he just finds a free first kill, sets up Draza for the second. Easy round for Atlanta.
Yeah, the reads really have been great for FaZe off the breakoffs. It's just the fact that even with first bloods tallied, Optic have fought back pretty considerably. Not enough to make up on the scoreboard though, so now it's gonna have to be 5 in a row for Optic Gaming. Otherwise, it'll be a very convincing map number 2 for FaZe. Abizi thinking he's got time and space to maybe get a little bit aggressive, but his window is just barely missed.
Team kill.
Yeah, and that's enough for Abizi to find one. Pops back open. He's got every other member for Optic around him. That's enough to catch Shotzi before he can jump to safety, and now it's just down to Kenny. It is now position is known. Kenny gets the beat down though on to Cell. Now it's just down to Abizi who finds the final 1v1, and what a bounce back for FaZe. 6-1 in map number 2.
And that was a 2v4 clutch. Abizi was stuck between a rock and a hard place, but the team kill is definitely gonna help.
FaZe die upt zijn game wel een beetje.
Abizi finds the second. He realizes there was pressure over that top propane. Whips out the Renetti, the movement too strong. Both the SMGs for Atlanta FaZe recently into this event switched to that hybrid. They're able to hit them dives, but Abizi just finessed tremendously over towards B Street, and what was a dominant map for Optic responded by a dominant map from Atlanta FaZe to tie it up at 1.
Get your get back real quick. And I think in particular, you had good maps from Cell and Draza.
Oh yeah,
that's huge.
What? Oh, no.
Clicking, especially with the maps to come.
It was a lot of clutches as well, man, because if you think Optic put themselves in a lot of man advantages situations. So if you think about that 3v2 where Pred gets picks all the way across the map, you have to play those numbers.
Bro, wat zit ik tegen Sweats te spelen? Mensen denken echt soms dat ze iets kunnen winnen. Ik zweer het je.
All these things that bring them icy moments in search and destroy, they've just showed it to fruition. Simp didn't really have to do anything. Don't worry, I got your comms, I'll plant your bombs. Don't worry about that.
Maar welke tyfus eikel wil ook elke keer deze map spelen? Ongelooflijk.
He never found those openings and took advantage of them.
I think the thing about it is, you got no smoke this time. How different this map feels, especially for someone like Shotzi, who's trying to get those aggressive angles early, and if he gets in trouble, he can smoke himself, or if he gets there, he can smoke deeper. So, some interesting things with the patch changing between champs and now. But outside of the heroic 1v2 ace for Pred, this map was entirely in favor of FaZe, and a lot of it did start immediately with Abizi. 3 first bloods, 10 kills, 2100 damage. Yeah, that's a map right there from the young man.
Yeah, he was just all over the map, man. He starts off with a bunch of first bloods, like you said. But then having that switch up in his game plan. All right, I'm going to run the Ravo 9 here. I'm going to switch to an MCW. In that final round, he puts out the MCW and gets aggressive over towards B Street. Usually do not see players make those kind of plays, but Abizi never shies away from those kind of moments. And Atlanta FaZe just take advantage of every situation Optic threw at them.
Yeah, and again, just to hit this one final time, kind of ice the cake here, put a bow in the present, it's the fact of the matter that in the first 2 rounds, they had reads on what Shotzi was going to do.
Yep.
From the offensive side, he's going to hit underground. He's going to jump up, mantle the B alley wall. You're dealing with it. You lay prone, you find the kill, no worries. Defensively, you know he's going to delay hit helipad. Abizi maybe got an early read, maybe didn't. Regardless, he still held Shotzi back from taking over the map, which is critical when you play Optic.
And the good thing to do versus Shotzi specifically early into these rounds is that his confidence is getting shot on those kind of plays. So he started to switch it up, trying to find different angles of attack, but couldn't find any success anywhere around the map.
Well, it's been pretty clean, and well, my duo here looking pretty clean.
They look good, baby, we look good.
We're feeling it here in Riyadh. But after 2 blowout maps, we're gonna go to an invasion control, which will hopefully get something a little bit more back and forth. Don't go far, we'll be right back after this.
Ja, tuurlijk jongen, die timing. Oh, dit. Wat zijn deze reclames, jongen?
It's the EWC and you want to play like a pro. Well, we've got a lesson for you.
Ja, hier, dank je. Dit is de lesson. Ik kijk nooit op Twitch. Ik kijk altijd op YouTube.
We should get moving. Star Wars Outlaws, available August 30th.
Here we go.
Can you adjust the rumors of an new boot?
No comment. Can these boots really take your game to the next level? No comment. How good can they really
Are they really that comfortable?
Welcome to the team, my guy.
Any more questions?
Time to go.
Borderlands. Kijk, Iris gaat haar dag het beginnen. Met een heerlijk ontbijtje. Voor Mo.
Dankjewel.
Bij McDonald's kijken we naar je talent en hoe we dat samen verder kunnen brengen. Dat is lekker werken.
Zo, dat is een lekker plekje hier.
Dat zei ik toch?
Goed geregeld.
Als we iets regelen, doen we het goed, hè, Tim?
Luister deze week 538. En
Hoeveel reclames kan je een mens geven, jongen? Ik zweer het je.
Dutch Grand Prix.
Welcome back to the Esports World Cup featuring Modern Warfare 3 on Championship Sunday. The Optic Whites are out, but FaZe, after a disappointing map number 1, gave us the immediate redemption that we would want to see from a series fitting of El Clasico. Jay, we saw some dominance though, and I think the thing about it is Optic are playing perfect hardpoint at the moment.
Yes, without question. It doesn't get any better than that. We know that Atlanta FaZe barely get a 100-point club. So let's go back and look at something from that map number 1.
We got some toys to play with. Okay. So we're going to do a little live Telestrator breakdown of this break towards P5. Okay, so here's the deal. What we started to see was FaZe were down bad. And what you're setting up is a P5 hold that has you watching every single cross point, and then one player in the middle that's going to flex between what happens over towards red or what happens over towards middle. The thing that's different about this play, though, is the fact that Optic have the cruise missile to play with. And I think more importantly, the fact is they get the information early, they get the elimination on towards cell, and then from here, you're only looking at one thing, and that is the player inside the hard point with this cruise missile. So you pop it in, you take him out of the point, and then here is where we really saw Optic dominate. It's in moments like this, not just on this hard point, but in others where, okay, we've got a free route, not only through the outside, but possibly through the middle, and then you've got players watching the cross. So the remaining members of the backside of this hill have no chance to actually get to Jay, and what that means is spawn manipulation. You push him all the way back towards the outside, and that is about as clean of a break as we could possibly see from Optic.
It doesn't get any easier than that. It all starts with that first kill onto the player in towards red, and then you realize, okay, we can invest the cruise missile onto the player on hill. We have the crosses covered on the back end, and then even with Pred finding one and getting traded, there's a teammate right behind them because you put yourself in a numbers advantage. It's just beautifully played in that map number 1 from Optic.
And I think the thing about it, comparing it to maybe the Toronto cruise missile or the Cloud9 one at the end of the day yesterday, was we're not just using the cruise to get the kill inside the hard point, we're using it to break down the entire map.
Yes.
That way we get an easier break, not just finding one kill, but separating off
Oh my
so
god.
that they don't get their hold and they don't even get their spawns afterwards.
Yeah, it was just tough, man. Like, the map number 1 did not treat them well. Optic made simply no mistakes in that map number 1. And it helps when you're earning cruise missiles early on into the game. But enough about that map number 1. We already got through the search and destroy. It was about a 5-minute S&D from Atlanta FaZe. Multiple clutch rounds, but there is nothing more important in this series than this control. Because on the season, Atlanta are 6-1, and then we're playing on an invasion where they are, without question, the number 1 team on this map.
That's such a big point. And let's be honest, in terms of this series between these two teams, the control has often been the difference maker between them. So it feels fitting that we get an invasion, one that could often go the distance, but I will say, you know, looking at the recent history, we've gotten a lot of really good offensive looks for both. I think more so for the side of FaZe, who don't just get it done by the ticks, but they also are going to outslay you.
Yeah, they outslay on both sides of the field. And the good thing for them on the defensive side, they actually have 50 successful round wins and only 8 losses. So you have to do something tremendous if you want to take them down on the defensive end. But it's going to be Atlanta FaZe starting off on the attack. No trophy systems to show in this round number 1, but they're applying a lot of pressure around that mid-map.
Yeah, really good from FaZe to clear out mid, like you mentioned, but they do get taken down from actually stopping the clock on the B zone.
Zo, FaZe die komt eindelijk een beetje bij, heb ik het idee.
FaZe are going to test their luck over towards A.
Kijk, volgens mij staat het nu 2-2 of zo.
There's a chance where you could stack and get some early progress here.
And it was just great plays from Simp causing havoc over at that B point. You open up the lane over at A. First segment already in. All the initial kills in favor of Atlanta. That's 3 dead. Playing for the 4th. The double stack is going to be in. And Draza, he's communicating.
Stack, 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 stack. I think that's, I'm not, you know, professional lip reader, but it did look like that may have been the call, and they will get the extra 60 seconds. So what a gut check call for FaZe. Win in the middle of the map, and now a chance to cut off Optic on rotation.
This is getting bad very, very quickly. Optic Gaming were not prepared for the aggressive Atlanta FaZe. We're going to start off on their attack. Already able to extend this game by an extra minute. So now all they have to do is work the easier point.
Niemand gaat ook op die hardpoint bij me in mijn potje.
He's watching the cross, making it difficult for Optic Gaming to have that.
Zo, aim assist. Hallo, waar ben je?
When it comes to Cell getting active on respawn, he's the one hitting the long pinch.
Wauw. Dat was best wel zielig. Ik kan ook niet te lang blijven zitten.
Fantastic plays right there from Pret to hold down that front angle, find a double. Now Abiz, the last player standing for FaZe. He's able to catch a double, an effective trade still here from Optic Gaming. A lot of presence around this broken area, and was just a 6-point life lead in favor of Atlanta. Optic had brought it right on back.
I mean, considering the fact that Atlanta looks so good off of their break-off, you're still dealing with Simp.
Zo, halleluja man. Jullie zien ook niks wat ik zie natuurlijk.
As they set up a very aggressive zone in front of the B point. FaZe looking to work back through mid. You've got Pred watching one angle and Kenny getting deep in towards ice cream. This is not where you want the ARs of Optic to live. And Dashy, a little fadeaway onto Cell, takes down 2, and Optic continue to dominate in the kill feed.
If you shoot against the Batman, you better be shooting straight because that guy does not miss bullets. He's on 4 in a row. And at the same time, Draza at least finds an opening on that pinch. So one player coming off the respawn, you're able to take care of Kenny out of ice cream. Now Dashy has to clutch up and get a couple more.
Space through mid-map though for FaZe. Time becoming a bit of an issue. Dashy will be shut down, only getting 4 in a row. Alerted though is Kenny and Shotzzy, and as they try to hold ground in towards the backside of the B point, it's just down to finding Draza. And he may have slipped the net here. Simp on the point does get taken down, so Draza's gonna have to step in to stop the clock at 16 seconds.
16 seconds to go, 9v9 in lives remaining. Draza just hoping that his teammates can watch over him. He's trying to put the game clock at a pause, but Dashy again finds a double. You send in Shotzzy to find a 3rd. That's a clean 4 dead. Would look to be a dominant round to start it off for Atlanta FaZe. Optic come back swinging with a 2-minute hold at that B point.
Unreal scenes, man. And we're going to exit away from this saying, hey, it's just 3 ticks of progress.
3 ticks!
Doesn't matter what zone it was on, it's still only 3 ticks. I think the biggest part about this is you're starting to see Cell get super active, super aggressive. And even in that moment, Optic are still very alerted to, hey, we haven't seen Cell yet. Let's just make sure he's not under flank. Kenny gets that 1v1 win, and after that, Optic are all gas.
It was just Dashy finding double kill after double kill. Pred initially starting it off, holding down that tank area. But if you will absolutely take that if you are Optic Gaming, you give up early A segments, you give the only away 3, and you're forced to hold down that B point for 2 minutes, and you hold it down flawlessly. So now you're just going to do the easy work early on. You got trophy systems, let's extend this time early.
Abizi playing down low at Treehouse, shots over the top from Simp. The rest of FaZe lingering through mid-map, just making sure that all of Optic are fully intending on staying here at B. But as kills come out, now the defense has to rotate, and in that moment, Pred finds one. Maybe a chance for him to put some pressure on A, but Simp gets the quick trade. Problem is, you lose all your defenders at B.
Yeah, when Pred finding that kill, you're forcing Atlanta FaZe to play for that trade instead of putting all their reinforcements over towards B. So the second segment is on the way. You already have Shotzzy sitting in towards top Treehouse, trying to find a timing onto that kill on the back end, but Simp is able to get the better of him. Still the 3rd segment on the way.
Long-range engagement also happening over towards Water Street, so FaZe will have to stay pretty responsible over towards this A site. Good pistol win from Simp. That depletes a little bit of the progress and also keeps the clock ticking for the FaZe defense. But with Cell, the only one still standing, Kenny is very aware that he's probably playing up top at an angle. Just comes down to does he actually confirm that information or not, and the answer is he doesn't need to. Point will be captured, 60 seconds added, and now just over 2 minutes for Optic to work with.
All tied up in segments now. Atlanta face the best team that we have on the defensive side, and they're hoping to show it here as they find an early 3 kills in the feed. You have one player from Optic who's still alive, though, in Dashy. He finds himself in towards DVD, but they spot him. Now that's all 4 players accounted for. Time to put him in the trap.
Just as much as Optic dominated on their B defense after the first 3 ticks were captured, this has the makings of something similar for FaZe over towards the A zone. Draza pushing back over. Does get a couple of tags, allowing Celium to pick up on his work, not once, but twice. So, again, the ARs for Atlanta really coming to life here on this defense.
Oh, great shots out of Draza to back down Dashy for a little bit, but you still got to worry about this overextension because Shotzi finds that kill onto Abizi. So he's going to play for that spawn kill once again. He's going to switch up the angle, this time go to top blue. Abizi's not having a good time so far versus Shotzi. And this is where Shotzi's going to force that spawn now behind him and take a little bit more ground away.
I think that was 3 straight lives that Shotzi took down Abizi. And now Shotzi's making moves over towards the zone itself. Abizi trying to get his revenge. Stun is through. Shotzi's already out of there. Trophy system in. Cell has no chance to shoot back. Follow-up looked good, and it will be, as Draza and Simp will make sure the A zone continues to stay clear.
It's already been a minute wiped off the game clock. Celium off the respawn is able to take care of the closest player, pushed up from Optic Gaming. But this is where Dashy just needs to hold down his lane. He needs to allow the SMGs who are running the ARs on this map.
I mean, Bruce is finding every single snap. The stun lands, he immediately pops up, finds damage into Simp, who can no longer shout from the fire truck, but as the rest of FaZe clear out that back alley, now it's an opportunity just to isolate and focus just on Dashy, who continues to give him a bit of a workout here. Holy cow. Optic now taking a chance to play through the OE, 25 seconds, they got to make their move.
And Dashy continue to pepper because your teammates are applying the pressure on the deep side, so you're hoping you can set up the crossfires, but more effective trades coming in from Atlanta. Now it leads to Pred being the farthest player pushed on up. With only 15 seconds left, I don't think that Optic Game are going to be able to get close towards A.
Likely not, unless Pred can find kills through Water Street and allow this run-up to be very clean. And whoa, hold on a second. Timing here is decent. Finds Simp for the first. Draza fighting from inside the zone. Connected from Optic. Stop the clock. Can he try to get there? Not going to happen. And no one else will touch. So FaZe respond with an equally as impressive defense as Optic provided in round 1.
And Optic are hoping when they find themselves in that scenario where they have a lot of mid-map control, they just need a double kill to go in their way. It was always Atlanta FaZe trading effectively. Abizi spawning off. Even though he wasn't having a good time initially versus Shotzi, he was able to find that kill towards the very end. And then you're keeping them trapped in. You're focused on the OE, leaving Dashy alone over towards Water Street, holding a pre-in. You know that he's not going to try to make that individual play unless his teammates are there with him. And Atlanta FaZe respond by only allowing 3 segments to get away from them, so we're all tied up in that column.
That's a really nice highlight of the discipline from FaZe. Even though they have 3 members that could rush at Dashy, there's no need to. No need to put that risk into play. It's a really good highlight out of you, Jay. Again, it's like you played this game professionally at one point in time.
One time, you know, a couple times, a couple years.
Opening engagements for FaZe looking good over towards B. BZ going to make sure Shotzi does get taken care of topside Treehouse, and that will lead to probably at least 2 ticks of progress, maybe the full zone as Optic are fully focused on sending their defense up for A.
Yeah, they want to make sure they maintain this middle of the map because this is where Atlanta FaZe thrive through the chaos. You do have Draza on 5 in a row. Can invest that trophy system to simply play his life even better. Second segment on the way, and you already have players like Celium contesting over towards Water Street. So how do Optic Game decide to apply pressure here?
And that's exactly how FaZe counteract the opportunity for Optic to even consider possibly putting anything.
Nou, het staat wel 1-1.
Now you've got a cruise missile earned for Draza.
Dus ik ben best wel benieuwd.
Open. Draza could play through laundry, an extra 60 seconds on the clock. I mean, it's a laundry list of things going right here for FaZe.
They're already in the point as well. Draza spots the first player on the cross. He sets up his teammate into BZ for that first kill. Now the double stack is going to be in, but you do not have a trophy system. So if you are Optic Gaming, throw everything that you got.
All opening shots are good. Kenny dealt with. Zipper on the back almost turns that into a double. Now it's just down to 1, though. Good shots out of Dashy. Able to find the first cleanly. Second tick of progress, though. Going to get locked in. Pred v Cell. Maybe for the round here, but Cell will be stunned up. Maybe doesn't make a difference. He still takes 1 with him.
And now it's more difficult because already Atlanta FaZe worked their way out of their spawn. A lot of pressure around this mid-map area, and if you are Optic Gaming, you are forced to iron up, clutch up in these gunfights. Fred strikes for the first, Draza effective on the trade, but look at the clinch coming in from Abizi.
Yeah, but Abizi has been damaged up pretty heavily.
Oh!
What? Oh my goodness. Almost the finesse of Abizi's career right there. But Optic deal with it, and in that moment, they also regain close spawns to keep this defense alive.
And Atlanta have a minute and 45, up by 7 lives, only 13 remaining for Optic. Big nade over the top, and this is where the cruise missile is going to get invested. Abizi finds another. They gain the info that the last player was in towards Cafe. That's already 3 dead. The double stack is going to be in, and this might be the round.
Yeah, sure feels that way. Shotzi also taken from behind over towards Laundry, so there's no way to get the defense back involved, and it is going to be a full capture for FaZe. Wow. I mean, offensive success towards A has been unreal clean from FaZe.
They are the #1 attacking team and the #1 defending team. I forgot to mention that in the beginning of the game.
Casual.
They find the most success on that side of the map because they are always keeping up in that slaying department, never getting outslayed, never getting forced to be trapped in towards the back of their spawn. And then when you have a cruise missile in the back pocket, it only makes your job a lot easier, especially when Celium finds that initial 2 kills over towards Water Street. You call in the cruise, you give the info to Abizi, he finds a double. And that was the round. Up by 6 segments now is Atlanta.
Yep, and so what that means here is Optic will have to win the offense, buy ticks of progression, then we got to do some math in the kills to determine who gets the round 5 defense. Opener, good from Shotzi. Already getting control over towards Treehouse side. Clock will stop with a lot of time on it. 121 still remaining as Pred gets a read towards Abizi at DVD.
First segment about to come in, but Abizi now on 5 in a row. Does get instantly traded by Dashy. Simp and Draza, though, they combine for 2, so it's only Kenny in this position, and now that leads to a 4 dead. You are forced to work out of your spawn. They have the crossfire set up. Optic are not going to have a good time here.
You cannot allow Draza and Simp to take control of this B-side tank either, and this is just getting disastrous for Optic's offensive hopes. Cell on 4 in a row, trying to back up to safety on the water bridge, and he's got help nearby. Simp keeps him alive. Abizi follows up behind it, and Optic are trapped in Palace.
50 seconds to go. You have to work your way out now and hopefully not allow the streaks to develop on the side of Celium. Cruise missile earned. 20 and 13 out of this young man. Leading EWC in the KD department. All of Atlanta FaZe trapping Optic Gaming in towards the backside of this Palace area. And they are simply running out of time.
Yep. I mean, they've only got 2 kills, have Optic. And it's still staying that way. 28 plays 17. And you just kind of feel like the conversations are already starting to happen for Subbase, because how do you break through this? Draza now on 3 in a row. Maybe one last desperate hope, but no! Simp crushes dreams on 5. Maybe not even needed to get the 6, because let's be candid, Optic are not getting either of these zones.
And if you're selling him, just call in the cruise missile. Who cares? There's only 7 seconds left. Optic is still going to be tapped into their spawn. You're watching the overextension over towards B. Production already knows we don't even got to see the end of the map, because that's Atlanta FaZe again dominating on another control versus Optic Gaming. Now up 2-1.
Blowout map after blowout map through 3. After a heck of a statement was started by Optic, now all of a sudden it's Draws and Cell. Picking it back up. They go a combined 44 and 25. Nearly double positive for both the ARs combined.
And you got to think, in that round #1 for FaZe, you're probably a little bit demoralized because you gain that early A capture and then Optic are able to shut you down at that B point. But everything after that was completely...
Waarom is het zo dat je als Tesla-app kan je een parental control geven? Een speed limit, reduce acceleration, require safety features and send curfew notifications. Dat is toch wel echt gaar. Welkom in de toekomst waar je letterlijk alles kan checken van iemand.
And that comes all after what looked to be a gut-wrenching first round. Doesn't make a difference. I mean, just the immediate response for FaZe on their first defense and then getting the A zone first, followed by a complete capture of B. Absolutely beautiful stuff for FaZe.
And Atlanta FaZe look completely different now compared to that map #1. Guns are a little bit more hot. The teamwork aspect is definitely showing because Optic are thinking, okay, Celium is one shot, I'm just going to send it on to him. But then that's when you have players like Simp right behind him, watching those crosses. Everything right now is clicking for Atlanta FaZe after a terrible map #1. Now leading 2-1 into this series. This is the map that I had highlighted. Because they only played it a total of 10 times. They have a record of 4 and 6. Optic on the opposing end are 13 and 2 on Subbase, and we have had the opportunity to watch them play it this weekend, and they dominated. But the mind games are coming into play now. What do Atlanta FaZe have in store on a map like Subbase?
And keep in mind, you mentioned this, just to confirm it, this is FaZe picking the map. So they will not be spawning on the favored side. So there better be something in the oven here, because the times that we have seen FaZe pick the map and start on the unfavored side is often when they get blown out. So we may just have 4 blowout maps if Optic continue to play this map to the standard that we expect them to.
Yeah, and especially if the ARs ain't coming to play, because we're going into a sub-base where it's going to be AR dominant. And the way that Draza and Cellium are shooting after that map number 1 is simply stellar. 29 traded kills here and there. Always finding clutch gunfights. 2v4s, even in the search and destroys. These guys are clicking on all cylinders right now. So if you are Optic Gaming, you need to make sure you are able to thrive through that chaos. Because you know on sub-base, sometimes the parallel spawns can come in, but you have to be able to read in those situations.
Yeah, I think that's the most important part, not just for FaZe. It definitely highlights with FaZe, but it's on both sides. Rotationally, FaZe has been one of the best teams in Hardpoint on the year.
Yeah.
With the exception of this map.
Yep.
That's been the only one that's kind of thrown a bit of a wrench into the system of what has been domination from FaZe pretty much throughout the entirety of the year.
And it's due to the fact that they barely played it a lot. So when they were getting slammed in the beginning of the year on sub-base, all their stats are basically going to be all the way at the bottom, with everyone else playing a lot of sub-bases. But
ik ga even...
to showcase your skills on a map that you have barely played throughout the season. Draza letting the boys know, job not done yet. Energy is flowing, the vibes are there for Atlanta FaZe. Just one map until they move to the grand final. Map that you have barely played throughout the season. Draza letting the boys know.
Ik zet even hem aan. Kijken en reageren op een stream. Je stream kijken.
Against Optic on what has been one of their catalysts throughout the entirety of the year on Hardpoint.
Chat, who do you think's taking this one, Optic or FaZe?
Dan heb ik ook niet heel de tijd die fucking vervelende reclames.
Optic will win this. I don't know if they're gonna win that.
For Optic, I think you're looking at this map saying our turn to blow you right back out again.
Hoping it's not a blowout. I hope it's a nail biter of a game towards the very end.
Selfishly, yes.
But it's going to be Optic, at least starting off on the preferred side, but none of the kills going their way. Great shoulder out of a BZ. He's going to set up his teammate Insip for the potential kill, and this is where the double child comes in. Optic still have the spawns, but Atlanta successful on the early break.
And that's another moment where you can highlight the homework for FaZe. When we saw Shotzi and Optic play this map from the favored side, it was up and through top glass. Yep. There's a stun waiting for him this time. So really smooth stuff for FaZe, as they will now make their first efforts towards trying to flip the map. Pred in their way, trying to see if he can catch Simp. A moment of second guessing, but he eventually is able to find him, locate, and also confirm the kill.
Yeah, you couldn't lose track of Simp right there, because he potentially would have spawned you all the way across the map. But Atlanta take 15 seconds at that P1, but Pred single-handedly dominating off this rotation. He is going to allow one player to slip on by, but the teammates holding down the spawns are able to respawn and take down Cellium. So now Optic Gaming in the position to run this score up here at P2.
Interesting route here for number 5 in green shots. He's going to get to top glass to make sure the maze stays safe. So this is going to make sure that Optic have their full focus on what comes through warehouse and what could potentially hit them through the P2 stairs. Pred, the first one in action. Good for the opener. Now it's down to getting a read on everybody else, and that's what you expect. The problem is BZ has gotten around the back, and there's a chance for FaZe to make a mess of this setup.
Pred has always been one of the best players at sub-base HP. He just knows the timings, knows where the pressure is coming in.
Good, bro.
And already finds himself.
Deze map is ook gewoon, ik vind deze map zo kut. Kusten van allemaal.
Now you can start to hit that rotation, because the break only comes in from the final 15.
Yeah.
You will take that spawns flip, Optic Gaming win a rotation anew.
Especially with the cruise whistle being earned, I know it's not going to feel like a net win on P2, because FaZe were able to contest a lot of time and also earn a bit of the scrap.
FaZe is echt even wakker geschud.
Double over through Warehouse side. However, FaZe, because the hardpoint wasn't open yet, will actually get one more spawner close. Can they find a way to surprise the setup? And Cellium will give us our first answer of a yes.
You see the route out of Simp. He's going to spawn, continuously spawn that player in Pred across the map. He's applying pressure on the back end. Dashy sitting at one shot. 38 HP. Wow. He's going to commit on the gunfight, and the early break comes in for Atlanta.
Jeez.
And now with 40 seconds left, Optic, you do not want to invest that cruise missile here.
No, not at all.
Cruise missiles on P3 on subbase are not effective.
A BZ one shot away from getting himself a cruise missile as well. Going to be denied. Trades are decent. Optic a chance to try to work their way back in for some scrap time, especially with the spawns being close, but Simp, perfect tracking, takes down Dashy, and now it's just down to how long can Chris stay alive.
That's all it comes down to. What more can Chris get done on this side of the map? Unfortunately, nothing. So Optic are basically going to tie the game up with that final jump time. And Atlanta FaZe put themselves in a position to win the rotation over towards New. But Pred already causing mayhem over towards the generators, is able to take down one, but he opens up a lane for his teammates to get out of that backside.
And I will say, just kind of again, talking about what we said at the pre-map, this has been good macro game from Atlanta. Optic are giving them a workout, but FaZe have manipulated enough to get themselves a bit of a lead. Cruise missile now being called in. Fred's going to take down 2 from the backside of the site, and simultaneously, Kenny's going to play backside tarps, but he gets shut down, and FaZe will still spawn in.
That's because Optic Gaming were blocking that water street spawn. You would love to push yourself around the OE, allow Atlanta FaZe to spawn all the way across the map, but the cruise missile is not going to be non-effective in this scenario. You get a double, but Atlanta spawned right into the back. They are still holding on to the hill. Simp and Draza finding the trades, and I don't think Optic Gaming are going to find a break here, so you're forced to cut your losses and hit that rotation anew.
Yeah, this is just down to if Kenny can maybe take someone out of the hill. Not going to happen, so you have to resort to coming off spawn and purely focusing on the mid lane, setting up for P5. Dashy over towards tankers. Shotzzy going to join him. Kenny off spawn will be the one to get into the hill.
40-point difference right now in favor of Atlanta.
People, you guys think I sound like the announcers?
That second gunfight versus Shotzzy, but he's always prepared for those gunfights. Now Optic taking away a lot of the space on the left side of your minimap over towards Jens, but you would want Dashy to find that kill. Selling him again, finding another clutch gunfight. Now the rest of the teammates swarm their way through the middle of the map. Easy break for Atlanta. Now all of Optic spawning at warehouse.
Quick reactions from FaZe. Not able to just get the players out of the key positions towards P2, but the snaps up to the warehouse high ground. Also good. 40 points. Again, the lead for FaZe. Growing beyond that as Optic can't go through warehouse anymore, and they're being shut down on the long route by Abizi, who's purely watching the OE.
You guys think he sounds like me?
Forced to hit that rotation early on. This is what sub base tends out to be.
I sound good.
When you're trapped on that side of the map, you have to work your way on out. You have to flip the map on its head for you to stand a chance back into this game. A 60-point lead from Atlanta FaZe, but you can already see Optic have
can we get a reset for Optic?
That warehouse through P2. They're finding the kills around the middle of the map, and now they take the spawns right on back.
And that's what I was about to say, is this is not only a good neutralization of FaZe in the middle of the map, but it will flip the map as well. So it's a long game. It's a patient game, but Optic are doing what they need to try to get themselves back into the game. FaZe still fighting, but Optic desperately trying to hold on. We jump into an Optic Gaming. Listen it.
I need time.
I spawn out, P2. Wasn't hit right late, bro.
Be killing time.
Watch out, 8 ball time. Can I, our boxes. And he's laying down our boxes.
Carry him
Watch your server.
I carry him sim.
Start aping the time, bro. Let's go. Come on.
Yeah.
One long. I can kill the guy right.
He's the server on top. One's out tunnel. Both sides on time. Both sides.
Simple time.
I
might be from B2, bro.
Time.
He'll be from B2.
I can try to play right.
I hear.
Simple time. Absolute. One lockers. Lockers in simple time. Absolute. Lockers in simple time.
Blockers here. Cat room Ape. He's just going old. One's out summer. One's out tunnel.
Let's go.
Front tunnel. All right, front node. Both tunnel. Last two node. MC node.
Jump sure.
Hey, what would a BZ? Half health for me.
Alright, I needed it for you, bro. Take your time.
Abe on
We're gonna top cat, boys.
Abe still out.
Top's not going.
We gotta live. I'm trying to play duo.
So dead, dude.
Two on you, boys.
Top
I wrapped the right.
Something left.
There's 2 on nudes. One more. He's close.
Time to top it.
Oh, FaZe is so locked in right now.
Back.
On me.
Missing one.
Shoot. Or some shit.
Hey, get me back on me.
They need Pred to get going if they want to win this.
On top some.
Low right.
I'm dead.
Nice.
Spawning in the back.
There's one tunnel. There's one tunnel, guys.
I stun him dark.
I'll get you top in 1 second.
I was dark.
Top 2. Shut up.
Dark.
Side on me. Side over the cave. Cider.
I'm
3.
so
Let's go sell. Should be close.
Yeah, I'm with you, Ken.
I'm playing close right.
I'll block.
I'm loading, Ken.
I'm blocking.
Loading, Ken. I'm on shot.
I got naded. All there.
Two loading, three.
All there. Forklift. They can go outside. All good.
2 loading the plant.
I reset plat. Here we go. Outside plat. They can go right.
He's super weak.
Let me play the right.
I'm trying to get the right.
Really weak side though.
P1. Okay, one with P1.
From B5.
One with P1.
I from B5 node.
Yeah,
I'm picking up the right.
he's gonna go top star. I think he's grabbing top star.
I hear.
I have the right, okay? I have the right.
I stun 8 top side.
Yeah.
I have the right.
I have time.
I have your low P5. You can play out.
I'm a tunnel.
Some struggles there, going from 1 to 2. Optic do a decent job on the second hill, but the gap is still 100 points, which means they need a full 60 here at New, and Simp again from the front is able to take the 2 contestants of Optic out of the hill, and a BZ slams Dashy as the break is already good.
The season
Oy.
right through mid-tunnel and is able to find a 3-piece, and at the same time, that's why your Tiny Terra duo in a BZ blocking that back spawn, spawning Optic all the way across the map, and now Chris Slayer, he's everywhere on 5 in a row.
Als FaZe deze wint, dan hebben ze toch al gewonnen.
Cruise missile, and there it is.
Oh my gosh. This has been just about as clean as you get. Atlanta's going to get to 230. One last final comms check with FaZe, trying to take down the defending champs.
MC's fire on you. I have time. Try to block the next kill league spawns out probably.
I'm going secret, okay?
They're still spawning. In the back. This last two. Last kid. Oh, nice! I'm out ramp. I have mid.
understand. Yep.
Yeah, nice.
I have a streak. I'm streaking.
I don't have secret.
Call him out. Listen.
Nee joh.
Yo, 2 warehouse, 2 in front.
That P2.
P2. 2 comms. P2.
Yo, comms up. P2.
I'll get on P2.
We're good.
Well, it looked like FaZe about to put the game away here, but a team kill comes out of the cruise missile. Optic will hold on by getting in from the front. FaZe split spawning, still trying to find the final 10.
Optic have the numbers. They just have to find these gunfights through the back end. If you are Atlanta, you just want to take your time here. Wait for this pinch to develop out of Sif. He's able to find the first. The turnover potentially onto Dashy, but he's going to set up his teammates. Still one player left in the hill in Dashy. He's making it happen. Wow. He's able to find a 3. Optic game and take the smoke right on back.
Still a lot of work to be done here, though, for Optic. This is just step 1 of what's going to be about a 15-step process. 10 seconds of scrap time looking good. Dashy red on the pinch attempt over towards warehouse. So now you got to move quickly if you're Optic. You cannot allow Atlanta to find any time.
Absolutely not. You have to work your way over towards top snow. You got to contest this hill early on, as now Atlanta FaZe only 10 seconds away from securing this series.
Last hit for Optic. Shotzzy right around the back. Last 3 seconds now.
Dit hebben ze gewoon gewonnen.
It's Draza who finds all 3. Wow. It may have been a slow start, but it's a heck of a hot finish as Atlanta FaZe take down the world champs of Optic Gaming in 4.
Wow.
Was that me? Did I jinx him?
And that is why we will always call Atlanta FaZe a big dog all through our Call of Duty. Even them getting absolutely beat up in that map number 1. The next 3 maps weren't even remotely close. We knew it was only a matter of time before the MVP of the season put his stamp on this series, and he gets it done on that sub-base in those final moments
looking really good, but FaZe like just
finals here at EWC.
And that's a huge moment, kind of silencing all of the doubters, all of the haters, talking about, is this trio gonna stick? A top 6 at champs? We're talking about only 1 major win for this dominant squad? How about a chance to go through what a lot of people labeled as a soft opening bracket to take down Optic in 3 straight.
Ja, Optic begon echt heel sterk, maar FaZe die op een of andere manier hebben ze toch weer voor elkaar gekregen.
Everyone had their time to shine.
They might win the whole thing, bro.
Nobody obviously played great in that map number 1, but then the ARs were great on the control.
Who wins the next
now,
one?
when you get
Surge
to
or
the
100
sub-base, a map that they have barely played throughout the season, the practice, the preparation, everything going into this event, it worked out flawlessly.
Unreal scenes, my man. And after, again, it was a slow start from the ARs, I think we kind of were wondering if they were going to be able to provide. But draws us down on the main stage with our final reactions and interviews with the boys.
Atlanta FaZe with a huge opening win on the main stage to kickstart Championship Sunday. What a phenomenal performance. I got Draza here with me on the main stage. Draza, let's touch a little bit on that opening map. That was tough. You even got handed a little bit of a lifeline with that reset, but you just couldn't find your groove. What was going on?
Yeah, honestly, we just weren't in flow, and they were just shooting, honestly. They deserved the map, obviously. They were just shooting. Like, we just had to hit a quick reset. We're switching S&D, and if you want to be the best team in the world, then you have to be able to take a loss like that and turn it around.
Which is exactly what you did, because that S&D, that 6-1 schooling, that was absolutely phenomenal. Do you feel like you guys have kind of made up for, you know, lost time, made up for that performance at Champs as well at this point?
Not yet. Obviously, we still have the finals, and, you know, we wanted to place better at Champs, but we have to wait until next year.
Now, when you guys were standing backstage before you walked out, you dared Kenny to carry the key, and now it's that fun part of the day where you get to accept the key from your opponent. Kenny, can you please bring over Optic's key that is going to be crushed backstage and be placed into the graveyard in the podium? That right there, that is an important key. How's it feel?
I mean, I'm the CEO of this org, obviously, so I already knew I was going to get it.
But you seem supremely confident. Now, speaking of confidence, obviously, after taking out Optic from this competition, after such an impressive run by themselves, you've got to be feeling supremely confident for that grand final best of 7 later today.
100%. A win like that against the world champs, nothing you can do but, like, be happy, you know? But any team can do anything if you're off your game. Showed map 1, they smoked us back-to-back times. We got a blessed, you know, reset, and they still smoked us. So it's not over yet. Time to lock in, and yeah.
Time to lock in. Draza, thank you so much for joining me in this interview. What an impressive performance. We're going to be seeing them later today, but make noise one more time for Atlanta FaZe. And we're going to go back to the studio.
They deserved it. Okay.
What a performance on a Sunday by Atlanta FaZe. They are our first first team to lock in their spot in the grand finals. Here on the stage, I have a very happy Clayster, a smiling alley cat, and a shameful Nameless. Nameless, anything you want to say to everyone on Twitter right now?
Man, I count my chickens a little bit too early. I really thought Optic after that map one, they were going to run away with it, but Atlanta FaZe putting in that work, bringing it back.
12-in-1 map count you are pointing out. Ridiculous run.
Unreal.
This is now Optic down. This is 100 Thieves down, and they could potentially match up against 100 Thieves again. Let's walk through these maps and modes, though, Ali. Did you think it was Atlanta FaZe's match after seeing the maps and modes, or simply the fact that they were facing off against Optic?
I feel like when it comes to this matchup, you can't feel like guaranteed even when you look at the map set, because either of these teams could take each other on at any given day. But I will say, when I saw that invasion control, I felt worried for Optic Texas. I said the point earlier that the biggest difference between these two teams was Atlanta FaZe has dominated the control in this matchup, and they have dominated invasion with an 80% defensive win rate. Optic sits 20% below that, and you saw it with Atlanta FaZe able to take the only offense in that round and end up winning that map.
Clay, Atlanta FaZe finally showing their true strength on a Sunday. Who was most impressive from this squad in your eyes?
From top to bottom, I think they all did what they needed to do. They all had rotational gunfight wins, anchor wins, they were slaying, two-piecing. But honestly, my MVP's got to be Celium. In that map 3, he was not losing Water Street repeatedly, holding down the bridge, holding down those Hummers, not letting Optic out of their spawns. There's not much you can do when Celium's going off like that.
I'm going to go with Celium play great. I'm going to go with Simp, and here is why. Matching the AR on the other side against Pred on Optic's best map in the sub-base to close out the series is massive. Atlanta FaZe added that map to their map set in order to do that.
Ali, who would you give MVP to?
I would give it to Abizi. I think he's played incredible the whole weekend, and in this series, he was the reason they won that search and destroy, but I think we should find out who it actually is.
Well, I'm giving your Bravia MVP to...
Where's our key?
Show us the key.
Dude, give it to the whole team.
Show us. It's got to be Draza. We all choose a winner. Draza was mine. I get the final say. Let's take a look at the CEO, baby. Draza also one of the key factors in that invasion. If you're watching him from Humvees, so many times Optic was trying to single him out. He and Celium working incredible as the AR duo locked it in.
Yeah, and he also had an incredible map number 2 as well. He was right along with Abizi behind him, sitting at 9 and 3. He wasn't getting the first bloods, but the second his teammates were in a pinch, he was the one on top of the traits.
Yeah, and you know, coming into this year, obviously the last year matchup between Optic and FaZe had always went Optic's way. Atlanta FaZe, they go ahead, they pick up Draza, and in my eyes, it's because of the added aggression why they've had the edge in this matchup on the year 7-1. But Clay, as somebody who played against them with these last 2 years, why does Draza give them such an edge?
I genuinely believe it's his intelligence. The way he moves around the map and the way he controls the flow of the entire map, it's so hard to deal with because he shoots so straight on top of it. He's bringing that energy, he's bringing that passion, and I truly believe he's the lifeblood of this Atlanta FaZe team.
He brings that confidence, and he lets you know it on stage. Excellence in action, presented by Bravia. This is your MVP for our semifinals. A 1.19 across the board, over 12,000 damage, and a 3.0 in search.
I want to touch on that 3.0. After losing the first map, basically twice, we go into the high-rise search and destroy. There was a 1 versus 1 Draza versus Dashy, and Draza broke Dashy's iron so hard, and I know what that does for confidence. And I guarantee you the momentum just started rolling from there.
The highest percentage I've seen from our fans was 82% for Optic. That was way back on day 2. Let's check in on our polls and see, did the audience get it right?
Oh, wow.
This one almost split 50-50.
Maybe the close.
Atlanta FaZe fans awake, watching their squad perform. Optic Gaming, sadly, now exits our tournament with $160,000 more in their pockets and a fourth place
that prize
finish.
pool is still
Not a bad weekend, I will say. And you look at Atlanta FaZe, they are now in your grand final. We have Surge versus 100T up next. We'll see if they can get it.
Let's take a look at that bracket to remind everybody how we got to this position. Clayster, it's been a fun road, a lot of game 5s. Will we see more as this tournament goes on?
I hope we do see a game 5 in this lower part of the bracket with 100 Thieves versus Surge, and then of course the grand finals at best of 7. Maybe we go the distance and get all 7 maps?
They're going 5, Allie.
I think actually we'll go 5. I think these two teams are incredibly
Unanimous.
evenly matched.
100 Thieves, Vancouver Surge, who is going to join Atlanta FaZe in the grand finals here at EWC 2024. Stay tuned to find out.
My name is Miles Ross. I'm here at the Esports World Cup, and I am joined by Joe Deceives of 100 Thieves.
Let's go, Miles.
Everything's good, Joe. Thanks very much. How you doing?
Pretty good, you know, feeling excited.
Chilling. You've been here, what? You got late last night?
Yeah, I got here super late last night, yeah.
Yeah, you enjoying yourself so far?
Yeah.
Having fun?
Place is insane.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? It's
Yeah.
cool. Really cool.
Player lodge is insane, the hotel's insane.
Insane. You know what else was insane, Joe? You guys at Champs. Well done, man. What a great run that was. You beat Ultra. That was a big surprise. Obviously, the crowd was crazy. You in particular, I thought you had a really good tournament. You were so exciting to watch. You were chatting a lot of this. How did this feel? How was that event for you?
I mean, it felt great. You know, obviously, like, some of the losses hurt a lot, but, I mean, just, you know, playing those matches, having those close matches, you know, winning with that first round versus Toronto, taking my headset off, hearing the crowd go insane, best feeling in the world.
Yeah. You want to play Toronto again this event?
Yeah, it'd be fun.
Yeah.
Right Always fun.
Always fun. Right on. We've seen your team progress quite a lot throughout the year. A lot has changed. Has much changed since Champs? Because obviously this is the first time in a very long time there's been an event after a CDO championship. How's it going?
I mean, I feel like a lot has definitely changed in like a positive way. I feel like our teamwork's gotten even better, which is insane to say. I feel like we've just gotten more confident in each other, especially after, you know, how we played at Champs. So yeah,
that's really cool, man. It's exciting to see what's going to happen this weekend. Joe, you were a Challengers player for a single event last year. What does this event mean to you as a rookie or as a young player, as a chance to show your skill? Do you think this is a big deal with the Esports World Cup?
100% it's a big deal, you know? I mean, the prize pool's big. You know, there's a lot of teams here, international competition. I mean, it's a really big event, you know? It's just another big event. I'm excited. I'm always happy to play at these.
What do you think this means to younger players like you were to get a shot against CDL pros and to play on the biggest stage COD's ever seen?
I mean, you know, for my first event last year, I got to play at the Pro-Am, and playing against those, you know, I played FaZe, London, Seattle, you know, playing against those teams that I watched a lot, you know, growing up when I was thinking, you know, I could go pro, and playing against them was a great feeling. So I know how it feels for those challenger teams, those young players. I know how it feels to play against them for the first time.
Cool, man. Well, it sounds like you're very confident going into this one, and good vibes all round going into the tournament. Let's put on like a hypothetical question now.
Yeah.
Black Ops 6, 2 months away. What do you want to see in the game as a submachine gun player? What are you excited about?
I mean, it's always the maps. I feel like, you know, a lot of these games that we play have great mechanics, but the maps just aren't always, you know, the best. But yeah, I feel like the maps are just make or break.
Oh, interesting. What about the ARs? Anything there?
Nerf hatch multiplier, please.
I think you're safe. Don't worry, man. I think you're safe. Speaking of that, there's been a lot of maps where in this game, in MW3, 3 ARs, you know, 3 SMGs, a lot of changes there. Is that something you like as a player? Is that something you think adds a layer of skill to the game?
I think so, yeah. I think having flexible players like that just make the game more fun, because like you said, you see 3 subs, which I know viewers love seeing, you know, Rio, stuff like that. I know 3 ARs is a bit boring, but even just like as a skill thing, I feel like having that, like a player like that that's super flexible, I think it's always great to see.
Always great to see, man. Well, dude, last question for you. Who do you want to play in the tournament? Who do you want to absolutely body this week?
FaZe.
Didn't hesitate for a second.
Yeah.
Go, thank you very much, man. Good luck in the tournament. Hello, my name is Miles Ross. I'm here at the Esports World Cup, and I am joined by a boozer of the Vancouver Surge. I'm going to get used to that. Mate, welcome to Saudi Arabia. Welcome to Riyadh. How you doing?
I'm good, and you?
I'm fantastic, man. I'm ready to rock and roll. We have some simple questions for you, some fun ones. We just want to see how you're feeling about the tournament ahead.
Honestly, it was pretty excited, of course, for me. The tournament looks pretty good, honestly. And yeah, I want to wait. I want to play right now.
You got to wait, man. You got to wait. Let's talk about the season for you. You've won the nominations for Rookie of the Year. You've come from Belgium. What do you think are some of the advantages the European players have over North American players in the Call of Duty scene?
I honestly don't know, like the difference, like if you are like, I have no clue. Other thing is like, it's different for everyone, you know, like, but I have no idea, like if you have some advantage or something, you know, like, I don't think so.
No advantage? You think maybe, I mean, we think of some of the, in recent memory, Hydra from France, yourself, there's a lot of talent coming from Europe.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. I mean,
some good players coming out of there.
Yeah, no, that's true. I mean, I don't know why, to be honest, but that's fine.
That's good.
Yeah, that's
Keep
good.
it coming. Keep it coming. With regards to this tournament, the Esports World Cup, what does it mean to you? How important is this tournament for you?
For us, it's pretty important. I mean, like, we literally like full champs, so it's like a good tournament for us for sure. We need to bounce back, you know.
It's a very unique opportunity to bounce back.
Yeah.
We don't normally get second lives.
Yeah,
in this.
that's true. Yeah, this is the first time, so yeah.
You came from Challengers. You made it to the CDL. Now you're here at the Esports World Cup. Is there any comparison so far for these events? What was it like being a Challengers player? What's it like being a CDL player? And now, what's it like being here?
I mean, it's pretty different for sure. Like, you being training pretty good in CDL, and it's clearly not the same. Like, even like just playing on like good PC, good monitor, like it's so different. So, and playing in front of the crowd and like on the stage is nothing can give you that. Like, you know, like the energy, you know, like. So that's pretty sick.
Do you ever talk to your friends or family back home about what this feels like?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, everyone's gonna say like it's insane, you know, like, and it is. So yeah.
Have your family, have they made a trip out to these events? To see you play?
No, just my girlfriend at this moment. So, and that's it.
Well, I hope they get to see you play in the future, man. It's very, very cool. There haven't been many tournaments or many experiences in the past for Challengers players to match up against the CDL pros. What do you think this is going to be like for you, and how important do you think that is for the young talent?
I think it's very important for them, like to have the chance to play against like some CDL teams. I think it's pretty sick for them. Like, we needed that in Challengers since like long time, you know. So it's pretty good for sure.
Why do you think it's so important for Challengers players to play against?
I mean, just to know and compare you like against the best, you know, like you wanna play against the best to know, like, and I think it's pretty good for them for sure.
What does it feel like to be a rookie who's being well celebrated now? What does it feel like to be in the CDL at this point?
I mean, it's pretty good for sure. You know, like, I mean, being a rookie it's mean nothing for me. Like, you know, like, I'm not 18, so you know, so that's fine for me. And yeah, that's it.
That's cool, man. That's cool. Well, thank you very much. We appreciate it. Good luck in the tournament.
Thank you.
I'm back.
Welcome back. It's your upcoming showdown. 100 Thieves facing off against Hook and Vancouver Surge. This should be a good one. If you've been following the track record for both teams, Seattle Surge dominant through their group. They stole Group B over Cloud9. That was a 3-1 performance to lock in their spot in the playoffs. For 100 Thieves, not as easy. You lost to Atlanta FaZe, and then you had to pull off a ridiculous run against Toronto Ultra yesterday, Alley Cat.
Yeah, but the thing is both these teams are kind of at the same level. 100 Thieves have been beating everybody they're supposed to, unfortunately fall to Atlanta FaZe, which has not been a good matchup for them all season long, so this could easily go to a Game 5.
Let's take a look at our bracket to remind everybody how we got here. Nameless, walk me through this bottom portion.
Yeah, you can see we had the massive upset of 100 Thieves over the Toronto Ultra in a Game 5. Kremp went nuts to put them in that position. And then the surprise of the weekend, the Vancouver Surge have been performing in the Search and Destroys. They get it done in a Game 5 as well over the Ravens.
Yeah, and Vancouver Surge, they got my trade. They knocked the Ravens out in a Game 5. But this matchup coming up with the 100 Thieves and Surge, they both have talked about how their S&D has been the focal point coming into this event. So I truly do believe whoever steals the S&Ds in this series is probably going to win the whole one.
Well, that call out, we'll see if it gets to a Game 5. But first, let's introduce you to the competitors playing for Nade Shots, 100 Thieves. We got to introduce Byron, a.k.a. Nasty, Mr. Consistent. You got Kremp. He's been the X Factor in S&D. But we're looking for Dan Ghosty to have a big Sunday.
And that's crazy because Dan Ghosty has been their most consistent player, been their damage dealer, been that guy for this team all season long. But this weekend, it's been Nasty and Kremp putting on a show. And if they can continue that, it's literally only a matter of time until Joe has one of his takeover series and Dan to get back to his former ways. So if you're Vancouver Surge, you cannot be taking this 100 Thieves team lightly.
Yeah, Chris, Alley, I love that call. I mean, these guys have picked up the slack for Dan Ghosty, who's been their best respawn player all year long. And in Search and Destroy, they have just started to click. It's been unbelievable, but they're going up against Search, who haven't lost one on the entire weekend.
Yesterday, Clay, they were down 2-1 to Toronto before rallying off a Game 4 and a Game 5 victory. Let's talk about their opponents today, though. Can you do the same thing to Vancouver Surge? Will they give you an opportunity to get back in the series?
There are two different play styles. Toronto Ultra plays a very fundamental, a very composed style of play, but when you're playing Vancouver Surge, these guys are kind of flying all over the map. They're playing with reckless abandon and just doing whatever they want. So I definitely think the matchup is going to be a little bit different.
I sat down next to Hook for breakfast. He was all smiles for the 4th day in a row. I don't normally see this, and we haven't really talked about this man. 0-4, kind of under the radar. Everyone's been highlighting Abuza's performance, what Hook and Brezzy have done. 0-4, when he's playing well, that's when you're seeing the Surge take some dubs.
The problem is, though, is that he can be a little bit inconsistent, right? With a very high ceiling comes sometimes a very low floor. So I hope he got some good rest today and is ready to come out swinging.
It's a fantastic showdown with some incredible young talent, and we caught up with a member of each team. It's Joe Deceives in 0-4. Here's what they had to say.
We got Joe of 100 Thieves. We got 0-4 of Surge, and we're standing right next to the Key Crush. You were here yesterday. You know what it's like to break hearts at this tournament. Carolina Royal Ravens, Toronto Ultra, you crushed their keys. Which one of you, in a matter of hours' time, will be standing here getting your key crushed?
Me, for sure.
You're going to be crushing his key?
Yes, sir.
What do you think?
I mean, listen, that's what he thinks. That's what he thinks. Doesn't mean it's going to happen.
Shortly, you'll be on the stage competing for a spot in that grand final. Now, the interesting thing is, you guys are undefeated out here. Do you think that that gives you a little bit of a mental advantage against 100 Thieves?
Maybe a little bit, but I know it don't play a huge part into the game. So as long as we stick to our game plan, I think we'll be all right.
What do you make of this team?
I mean, you know, like you said, they're undefeated. They're a good team, you know. So I'm excited to play against them. But you gotta lose at some point. So
I feel a little bit of tension in the air here, guys. I don't know if it's just me. Can we just get you looking at each other just for a moment here before we get into this crucial semi-final? There is a lot of money on the line here. You said to me yesterday, you don't think about the money.
What the fuck?
He wants to take the guys out personally, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I just want the bragging rights from.
What do you want to say to him?
I mean, he know he can't kill me. So we're going to come out high and hopefully take this win.
What do you want to say to this guy?
I mean, listen, bro. Like, they're a good team. I respect them, so I'm excited to play.
All right, good stuff. Listen, you're respectable men, and you're ready for the semi-final. Give us a fist bump, and we'll get into it. Thank you very much.
Oh, you love to see him having fun. I was getting Step Brothers vibes right there. Adversaries at first, but across their Call of Duty careers, eventually they'll be sharing bunk beds. Let's talk about the duo here, though, for each team. If you're going to dial in on 2 players nameless, who are you looking at for Vancouver Surge? Who are you looking at for 100 Thieves?
Yeah, it's the SMG duo for sure, Chris. I'm looking at 0-4, and I'm looking at Hook. When you talk about those guys,
Cobra,
0-4 has matched Hook's speed. He always needs that dynamic duo.
Man.
You think back to Hook and Shotzi when they were at their, when Hook was at his best, it's because he had another player with that movement who can take space on the map. And it would be the same thing for 100 Thieves for me. The SMG duo. Kremp has been unbelievable so far this weekend.
You also had a few goats there on the roster. Clayster, what do you see from 100 Thieves? What are you looking at in this matchup?
Obviously, Kremp just has to keep doing what he's doing. He's been performing phenomenally in S&D. The island player plays where his whole team's on one side of the map and he's on the other, making moves, hitting gaps in their setups. I expect Kremp and Joe Deceives to play their game.
Alley Cat, when I was here for Overwatch, the most important game mode was Game 1. Whoever won that first map in the best of 5 seemed to go on to the next round. What's the most important map in your eyes? Is it early on in the series or the finishers?
It just depends on what teams are matching up. When it comes to these two, it's the search and destroy. So that map 2 for me is going to be everything. They're both on a winning streak right now. 100 Thieves on a 3-map win streak on search and destroy. On the flip side, Vancouver Search is on 4. So both these teams going to be in a serious battle for 2 and 5. And looking at this map layout, I can't really lean either way. I feel like these vetoes went incredibly well for both teams. My only worry right now is maybe going to be that Karachi control.
Shane versus Rambo Ray. You love to see the guard leading their team when it comes to the picks and bans. Clay, what's your vibe, though? Go on this.
My vibe is definitely that Rambo made some good moves this year with picking up 0-4, picking up Brezzy, adding him to the roster. Something I want to look out for, though, is that Rio S&D Game 5. If 100 Thieves gets to that Rio S&D, it's going to get scary for Surge.
I'm liking this when I look at it for Surge, especially the high-rise S&D.
Yeah.
For some reason, Brezzy's super comfortable on that map. Seen him winning a lot of 1v2s. I think they feel good.
Who does Atlanta FaZe want to win this matchup?
100 Thieves for sure, because they already beat them. They 3-0 bopped them out of the tournament. It's a really tough matchup for them. And again, like Ant said, this is great for Vancouver Surge early. If you talk about the high-rise S&D, Vancouver Surge is very strong. High-rise S&D. The control, they're very strong at the attack. Couldn't Rachi. There's a lot of opportunity for that. On the flip side, for 100 Thieves,